Teslas, they can drive themselves, they can beat a $500,000 Ferrari off the line, they're jam-packed with amazing tech, and yet there are things that the team over at Tesla apparently haven't thought of yet that we'll be covering in this video. I've owned 2 Teslas over the years, and today's video is a list of around 20 things, in no particular order by the way, that I think Tesla should consider implementing. And yes, some of these are going to be hot takes and potentially harder to implement by the team over at Tesla, but hey, if anyone over there is watching this right now, maybe take note and look down in the comment section at what people are also asking for. So yes, you watching, comment down below anything I missed and that you think would help improve the life of a Tesla owner. So with that said, let's get into it, and don't forget to subscribe. I post twice a week here on this channel, Wednesdays and Saturdays. All right, so waiting for a supercharger in a packed parking lot can be really chaotic if you live in a metropolitan area that has, yes, maybe quite a few superchargers, but also a lot of Tesla owners. The worst thing is arriving, they are fully full, and then you are waiting in line, but there isn't really a line, right? Well, Tesla could take a cue from networks in China by implementing a digital queuing system. Just say pull into a geo-targeted fenced area around the supercharger, and then what would be really cool is getting automatically assigned a stall when it frees up, and then you just follow on-screen guidance. This would reduce line cutting stress and make supercharging just way more efficient for everyone there. The way I would imagine this potentially is you enter into this force field geolocation essentially, and it knows, okay, you are second or third or fourth in line, and then you could just go line up essentially. That would be something that would be really cool and make life a lot easier at those hectic, busy supercharging stations. Number 2 here, Tesla could easily integrate their own online Tesla shop right into the screen for, let's say, while you're charging, right? If you're sitting there at a supercharger for 10, 15, 20 minutes, well, why not be able to browse new accessories, merch, or service upgrades? This is something that I've often wanted to do when I'm supercharging and, I don't want to play any of the games or whatnot. Take a look at what's available on the store. Well, you can't. This would make it really convenient for drivers, and it would be an easy way to upsell Tesla owners. A win-win really, so that is something I think should be a no-brainer. How is this not already implemented? And yes, before I get someone commenting down below, yeah, you can access it on the mobile app or on the web browser, but I think just having an actual Tesla shop icon would make it a lot easier. Getting flagged by a red light camera is one of the most frustrating driving experiences. Tesla, I think, should integrate known red light camera locations right into the navigation so that drivers are, proactively warned, just like they are with turns or stop signs, right? It's standard in apps like Waze, and I think it's completely overdue in Tesla's navigation system. Cities update continuously known locations of their red light cameras, so why not integrate this directly into Tesla's native system and or even pull that information from another platform like, say, Waze? That would be something that would make life a lot better in a Tesla, not getting those pesky red light camera tickets. Now, in the same vein here, it's not enough to just show red light cameras when you're navigating. Drivers want a toggle that keeps speed cameras as well as those red light cameras visible on the map at all times, especially when they're just, cruising around or commuting without a destination set. As it stands right now, in Tesla's native navigation platform on the map, you can see known speed traps and speed cameras, but only when you have a destination set and that camera is on the said path and destination. So that to me is just very strange that you're not able to just toggle seeing them at all times, because I don't personally have a destination set all the time when I'm driving around in my car because I know the area really well. But for anyone coming into the city who isn't familiar with it, why not just make this an option? That would be really easy to implement. Okay, moving on here, one pedal driving is one of Tesla's best features and one that owners really start getting used to when they've had a Tesla for a while and then jumping back into a regular car. It's really weird when you take off your foot from the gas, or the accelerator, I should say, and the car just keeps rolling. But the thing is, not everyone necessarily wants that same level of regenerative braking. So I think letting drivers, choose how aggressive or light the regen braking is would help with comfort and range efficiency, especially in stop and go traffic or snowy conditions. So just like how you can choose dynamics, right, chill, standard, or ludicrous mode or whatnot, if you have a certain trim of Model 3, Model Y, or what have you, why not also have a slider where you can change the amount of regen braking? Maybe that's just not feasible. I'm not a mechanical engineer or whatnot, but if that is something that's possible, it would be really cool. Okay, now if Tesla wants to keep up with other luxury EVs, I think massaging seats would be a no-brainer. Not necessarily in the base Model 3 and Y, but why not make it an option that could be implemented into the more expensive trims and or even, the X or the Model S exclusively. Long drives would be way more comfortable, and it's already becoming pretty standard in, brands like Mercedes, BMW, and Lucid. Even a simple, lumbar massage only, I think would be a huge upgrade that a lot of people would pay for. Next up, the Frunk, right? Super handy, but people don't necessarily use it to the extent they might need to because it is not powered, right? So why not add auto open and close functionality to make this more practical, especially with delivery drivers, people road tripping, and anyone, juggling groceries or gear with both hands. You have to put it down, put everything down, open it up, it latches up, and then bring it up, right? Why not have a system where, just like in the trunk, you can automatically just click a button and it goes up and down? That would be something that would be really cool to implement, and a lot of third-party companies have made these systems and mechanisms where it'll essentially open automatically, come down, and then even suck itself in, right? Like auto closing doors, which we'll be speaking about next. That would be something that I think Tesla should implement from factory, because getting something third-party and then messing with the electronics, I'm sure most people are able to do it, but not everyone's going to be comfortable messing around with the electronics on their vehicle. From here, let's consider that the rear passengers are going to be getting the short end of the stick in most Teslas. Adding ventilated rear seats, especially for long summer drives or family road trips, would bring an extra level of backseat comfort in line with most luxury vehicles. Now, to be fair, they only just implemented ventilated seats in the front on the new Model 3 and the new Model Y, and even in my old Model 3 from 2021, the back seats only had heat when you paid for it. I think it was like $400 at the time. Safe to say I did not pay for that, but now at least the back seats do come heated automatically at no extra cost. I'm assuming that over time, probably in the next iteration of this gen's Model 3, they might add ventilated seats in the back, but who knows? So as I was saying earlier when speaking about the automatic Frunk, soft closed doors in general aren't really just, a luxury gimmick that you see in high-end cars. I think these would be great overall just to minimize noise inside and outside of the cabin, as well as avoiding people slamming the door, you know who, as well as, if you just close the door not all the way, it will suck it in and close it for you. This would add a refined sort of premium touch that buyers are increasingly expecting in a $60,000+ vehicle. This next one here, I think Tesla should not bundle into the full self-driving package, either fully purchasing it or even the monthly subscription. Charging people, thousands of dollars a year or outright for something as basic as auto parallel parking, as well as just auto parking, feels a little bit out of step in my opinion, especially when other automakers offer it as standard and have been doing so for decades. Tesla should decouple basic auto park from the full self-driving suite and let more drivers use it without that massive or ongoing price tag monthly, right? I literally remember being a kid watching Ford ads, and they already had automatic parallel parking. Now, whether or not it worked well back then, I don't know. I can't attest to that. But the parking as well as parallel parking in the Teslas is fantastic. I've tried it many times. Why not just make that free and integrated into the vehicle? This next one is another no-brainer. Sometimes you just want to cool your car off quickly before hopping in without necessarily jacking up the AC as well, or at least a combination of both. So letting drivers roll down the windows all the way down remotely from the app would be a really small but super useful upgrade in my opinion, and one that many automakers already include as well. As it stands, when I'm recording this video, maybe in a year or so when you're watching this, it will have changed, but you can only vent the windows slightly, which is already a good start to let heat escape, but why not be able to roll them down fully as well as independently? Currently, you can only do them all at once. All right, for the price of a Tesla, you would expect better basics and accessories being included, right? Including mud flaps, a mobile charging cable, which used to come standard in all Teslas. Now it only comes with the Model Y for some reason. That would be a really nice savings. Maybe a set even of those jack pads that as a Tesla owner, you pretty much are obligated to buy, because when changing out your tires, either at home with a simple jack or even at a garage, you need these to not bend the frame and or have an issue with your battery. These are all essential items that most owners end up buying anyways. So just building it into the delivery package, I think would be really well received by future Tesla owners. By the way, as it stands though, everything I just mentioned does not come with a Tesla anymore. So make sure to check out the link down below in this video's description over to my Amazon storefront, where I've curated a list of great accessories I use and or have reviewed on the channel and recommend for both the Model 3 and Model Y. Great way to support the channel for no extra cost to you while getting some accessories from Amazon. All right, now Tesla Vision is a really cool and fantastic feature, but I think a full bird's eye view, like what say BMWs and Rivians offer, as well as many other companies, would seriously improve parking in tight maneuvering situations. So stitching together side, front, and then rear cameras into one of those top-down perspectives, I think would be a really cool evolution to Tesla Vision, and the cameras are already there anyway, so it wouldn't really be anything extra in regards to the hardware that Tesla would have to add to their vehicles. All right, this next one here is one that I have been wanting for years, and I've been saying pretty much since I bought the car years back that this would be a fantastic feature. And that would be the ability to use your Tesla vehicle's charge to power things in your home, like with say the Cybertruck. Okay, the Cybertruck, now you can go ahead and buy this thing that you attach into your home electrical system. And then if the power goes out, you can shoot the power from your Tesla Cybertruck through into your home essentially. But that would be really cool if you could do the same thing with the Model 3 and or the Model Y. Not necessarily having to go out and buy a full extra unit that costs thousands of dollars, but even just adding a couple standard 120 volt outlets in the trunk would be a really good start. So yeah, this is just coming from someone who lives in Canada, and unfortunately I live in an area that has sort of an older power grid, I suppose. I lose power probably 5-6 times a year for a day or two, which is a huge pain, especially in the winter when you can't even plug in an electric heater, and in the summer all your food can spoil. So at least being able to just like plug in your fridge to your vehicle, that would be really, really cool. This next one, I know a lot of Tesla owners have had issues over the years with, including myself. There needs to be smarter or better awareness, essentially, of the presence of the driver and the keys, right? Sometimes I can be sitting in my car while it's charging, or just I've left and I'm driving. And if I get out to, let's say, unplug the charger, or I just get out to go run an errand and come back in, well, I need to then re-authenticate my key before being able to drive off again. This can happen even if I'm just sitting there for like 10 minutes, and the car, I think, should have a better idea of knowing that I am still there and that the key is still in the vicinity. So this is really a small thing as well, but it really bothers me to need to continuously authenticate my presence and repair my phone key. The car should recognize the presence of the key and just, let me go. Once again, I've literally been sitting in the car, or I've left, right? I'm in the middle of driving and it says no key cards detected, and that authentication is required before being able to leave again if I were to get out and get back in, which is kind of ridiculous and really frustrating. For some reason, you can only either have the car tell you the state of charge or the number of miles or kilometers that you have until you need to charge up again. My question here is, why can't we have both? In most vehicles, you're able to see how much gasoline is in the tank, as well as how many miles or kilometers that gasoline will equate to based on your driving. So in the case of a Tesla though, you click up beside the battery icon and you can only choose from one of the two, either the percent or the distance in miles. So yeah, not the biggest issue, but I would like to be able to see both of those at once while I'm driving. Anyone who has a Tesla knows that the screen is one of the best in the industry, and it's one of the reasons why people love the interior so much. But it's pretty limited when you think about it in regards to entertainment options and other apps. So giving users access to a Tesla app store, I think would be really cool, offering third-party apps. This would massively expand what's possible inside the cabin. And sure, you can connect your phone via Bluetooth, but it's not the same as having native integrated access right on the screen. As it stands right now, only the driver gets seat memory functions, which kind of feels like an odd omission in a premium EV. Adding memory settings for the passenger seat at the very minimum would be a small but meaningful upgrade, especially for couples or families who regularly swap seats. It's all about convenience and consistency here. If the car can remember, my Spotify login information and climate preferences, it should be able to also remember how the passenger likes their seat as well. So being able to, in the same way that you can click on your driver profile and it brings your driving position to your desired one, why not also have a button for your profiles as a passenger? And then you just click your name and it brings you to your desired passenger seating configuration. So that concludes over, I think, 15 things that Tesla should implement if anyone over there is watching. Let me know also down in the comments what you think I missed and would make life as a Tesla owner better. If you want to support the channel, also, like I mentioned, check out my Amazon storefront, link down below for some great accessories. Thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe for more content around Teslas, and I'll see you in the next one.